Since moving to Paris, I have noticed how French people truly enjoy being in contact with nature. The parks are full of people, reading a book under a tree, having a picnic with friends, or simply sitting quietly, contemplating the beauty around them. I was curious about this and started paying closer attention. I realized that for many Parisians, spending time in nature is not a luxury but a necessity, a way to restore balance and appreciate life's simple pleasures. Whether it's a stroll along the Seine, a Sunday morning at the Jardin du Luxembourg, or just a few quiet minutes in a small neighborhood square, there's a genuine appreciation for slowing down and being present. This way of approaching life was new to me, a part of my daily life that I started to look forward to. Sitting on a bench, watching the changing light of autumn, feeling the crisp air on my face, and listening to the rustle of leaves became my form of meditation. I wasn't rushing anywhere or trying to accomplish anything. I was simply being. What I discovered through these quiet moments was much deeper than I had expected. I found a new sense of connection, not only to nature but to myself. The simple act of observing life around me, without interference or agenda, opened a space within me for peace and reflection. I began to understand what the French mean by joie de vivre, the joy of living. It isn't about excitement or grand events, but about finding delight in ordinary moments like the sunlight filtering through trees, the laughter of children playing, or the gentle sound of water in a fountain. The change I felt in my body was surprisingly comforting. I noticed I was breathing more deeply, walking more slowly, and feeling more present in my surroundings. My thoughts became calmer, and my emotions steadier. The anxiety of adjusting to a new country began to fade. Nature was teaching me a new rhythm, one that matched the quiet pulse of life itself. Slowly, I started to realize that this was not just about Paris. It was about learning to live differently. In many ways, nature became my first true friend in Paris. Before I made new human connections, I found comfort in the city's natural beauty, appreciating the trees that lined the boulevards, the pigeons that strutted confidently across café terraces, the delicate flowers that seemed to bloom even in the smallest patches of soil. Each detail reminded me that life continues in its own way, regardless of our worries. I began to trust that I too could adapt and grow here. One afternoon, as I sat by the water in the Tuileries garden, I realized that the fears I had carried about change, loneliness, and uncertainty had quietly dissolved. The sound of leaves swaying in the wind, the laughter of children, and the golden hue of the afternoon light gave me a profound sense of belonging. I wasn't just a visitor anymore, I was part of the rhythm of the city. Paris taught me that nature is not separate from our lives, but is intertwined with them. Even in a busy city, nature is present in the trees that line the streets, the gardens tucked between buildings, and the morning light reflecting off the Seine. The French seem to have mastered the art of integrating nature into daily life. They make time to walk, to sit outdoors, to enjoy a meal surrounded by beauty. It's not an escape from life, it's a way of living it more fully. Through this experience, I learned that reconnecting with nature also reconnects us with ourselves. When we slow down and open our senses, it is when we notice the scent of flowers, the movement of clouds, the song of birds, and we remember that we are part of something larger, something eternal. It brings balance, gratitude, and perspective. Now, when I walk through a Parisian park, I no longer feel like an observer but like a participant in this quiet dance between people and nature. The fear of beginning a new life in another country has been replaced by a sense of peace and wonder. I see life in softer tones, not as a rush of days to conquer, but as moments to savor. Living in Paris has taught me that nature is not only in the countryside or distant mountains. It is right here, in the heart of the city, and it is waiting for us to notice, to breathe, to feel alive. And through that simple act of presence, we rediscover ourselves, one quiet moment with nature,